And so supplementation becomes key to keeping this body healthy from the inside. Make sense? So, but not all supplements are created equal. Be very careful. All right? I'm very lucky because I happen to do all the research and I know what supplements are the highest and the best in the world. But you don't. So you have to be very careful. Very careful. Does that make sense? So you should supplement every day. Now let me give you another little example. Just an example of if you are running, let's say you're running and then all of a sudden you hurt your leg or you hurt something, most of us go right away to the doctor and the doctor gives us either cortisone or some muscle relaxant for that. And the best thing to do is to take a combination of two things, and vitamin C is one of them because it's a natural anti-inflammatory, right? So you don't need drugs, guys, but you do need supplements, right? You do need supplements. So you have to be very, very careful, right? The other thing that we have to be careful about our body is what we take in by way of emotions, by way of energy. If you hang around negative people, you are going to begin to believe and be a pessimist. Most of us are shaped by our beliefs that we picked up from our parents. And if you hear yourself, when you get older, you're going to begin to speak like your parents. One day you're going to say, "Woo, was that my mother?" Because you will carry on their beliefs. So what that means is that you've got to take a look and do some spring cleaning and decide, is this belief serving me anymore or not? And now I'm going to give you an example. Let me give you an example. It took me a long time to realize and to actually accept that I am a network marketer. I'm a professional network marketer along with everything else I do. But it took me a long time to realize that that was an honorable profession and that there was money to be made there and that you have to be honorable in order to be in that profession. I'm also a professor. That's another profession. I'm also an entrepreneur. That's another profession. I have more than one profession, right? But for the longest time, I used to say, "Oh no, those things don't work." And then I would look and I would see, because I always, my bachelor's degree is in business from San Diego State, right? I graduated magna cum laude, guys. So I did what I said I was going to do. So for me, business is extremely important. I have investments. I have a portfolio. It's extremely important. But I didn't think that that was a real business. I listened to what other people said. Nah, that doesn't work. It's a pyramid scheme. And then I realized one day that I was working in a pyramid scheme, because you will never be able to make more than your boss in any job. So you guys actually work in a pyramid scheme. None of us will ever be, I will never be making more than the president of this school. That's a real pyramid. That's a real pyramid scheme, guys. You go get a job at Carl's Jr., you'll never be able to make more than the manager, yes or no? Yes. Unless you become the manager. That's a real pyramid scheme, guys. Think about that. A job is a real pyramid scheme, but yet we're afraid of the businesses. And so then one day I went to listen to Robert Kiyosaki, Donald Trump, and my favorite, Tony Robbins. They're the richest men on the face of the earth. They all own network marketing companies. They all said that if they had to start all over, they would go to a network marketing company. I stood up and I listened. I said, I've got one right here in my hands. I've got the best product on the earth. Does it serve me? Now this is where I use Sausha. Does it serve me to think that this is going to not work? Does it serve me, does that belief that I think that it's not going to work, does that serve me any longer? And then I went in and I meditated and I realized, no, it doesn't serve me any longer. Pull out that belief. It wasn't easy, but I pulled out that belief and I said, okay, let me take a look at this. Let me see how I can run this. Let me see how this is a real business. And the more I looked, the more I found. And the more I found, the more I realized, OMG. Let me just tell you, 2.5 years later, I make more in my network marketing business than I make at this college and University of Phoenix combined. A week. I make more in my network marketing than I make here in a month. Right? It's a real business. But do you see how I had to pull out that belief? I had to really be able to look at myself and say, that belief not working no more. Let's try it over here. That's what Sausha's about. Take a look inside. Take some time to stop and think. What are the things that no longer serve me? What are my thoughts that no longer serve me? If I walked around and said, I'm so dumb, I can't help that, or I'm not smart in math, is that belief now serving me?
No.
No. So you've got to pull out those beliefs that no longer serve you. And yes, step out of your comfort zone and go toward it. Does that make sense? So now we've got our mental body, and I just told you about your physical body, yes?
Mm-hmm.
That's what Sausha is. That is why your health is your wealth, whether that is your mental health, your physical wealth, your emotional health, or your spiritual health. You've got to realize that. That is your wealth. The more positive you think, the more money that will come to you. Instead of saying, I go back to this, your mental health, I don't have enough money. You will never hear me say, I don't have enough money, ever. Here's what I say, how much is it? I'll find a way. If I really want that, I'll find a way. Somehow it's going to happen. Somehow it's going to happen. People say, where do you get, oh my gosh, you're always going here, you're always going there. How do you manage to live in Hawaii? It's the most expensive place on the earth. I said, I don't know, it just happens. Why? Because I believe it is going to happen. And because I don't stop myself with this, oh my God, it's so expensive. People tell me that all the time. I say, I'm going to live in Hawaii. Oh my God, it's so expensive. Really? I don't know what Hawaii you go to, but I'm fine. Your Hawaii must be different than mine. Really? Think about those things that no longer serve you guys and get them out of your mind, get them out of your mouth. Cleanliness, Sausha. Be careful what goes in and be careful what comes out. Right? And that's what it means. And if you were ever to be lucky enough to listen to Tony Robbins, he will tell you the same thing. Be careful what goes out, for what you speak will become your truth. And be careful what you take in, for what you think will also become your truth. These were universal, given to the most elite and the most successful. And to this day, they still happen to be good practices, because all of this is what the most rich and famous practice. Right? All right, are we clear on the homeworks? We got 2 homeworks. We got writing down everything that goes in our in here, and then I want you to do that microwave, and you're going to take pictures of it. Yeah? That's going to be a homework. In your journal. All right, let's do some